What's going on, guys? Architecture with a brand new episode of The Problem. Today's episode of The Problem is talking about what the problems are in Overwatch. Now, with the next few episodes of this series, I'm going to be talking about shooters and shooters mostly because I want to point out what it is in these shooters that I'm going to talk about that are, in my opinion, good shooters, but have a lot of flaws that prevent them from being better. So, Overwatch is the start. Then we're going to do Apex. We're going to do Siege. So, we're going to talk about some shooters and what it is in these games that hold them back from being better than they are. So, disclaimer, there's going to be a lot of things said in this video and future videos that people are not going to agree with, but it's just my opinion, and it's my opinion on why, to me, the game isn't as good as most people would view it to be. So start things off with Overwatch. Overwatch to me is a decent game. It's not a great game. It's not even a good game. It's a decent game. You know, I never reviewed Overwatch, so if I gave it a review score, I'd probably give it a 6. It's a decent game. You know, there's not a lot of content to it, so I don't see why it's a $60 video game. To me, Overwatch should have always been like $40 because you don't have like an actual campaign to it. Overwatch 2 is getting, you know, a PvE campaign, I guess, but this is not Overwatch 2. This is Overwatch, and it doesn't have the game modes to justify a $60 price tag even to this date. When it comes to the characters in Overwatch, to me, Overwatch itself as a genre is what I like to call a MOBA light game. It's a MOBA, but it's also a shooter, but it's MOBA light. It has MOBA elements because it's a hero shooter. And when it comes to these individual characters, there's a way you have to balance things out. You know, I played a game called Smite. I'm very good at Smite, and I played Smite for a very long time before I played Overwatch. And Smite kind of has the exact same kind of style, especially if you play Arena, as Overwatch does for the most part. Especially when it comes to, you know, picking a hero, having roles, and doing certain things. So when it comes to Overwatch and its heroes and its balancing, I want to compare it to Smite. Smite does a very good job at balancing things out, way better than I thought. Because when it comes to certain video games, you don't notice how unbalanced a game is until you play another game that has heroes that's not as balanced. So you start to appreciate that other game that you played that you thought had some unbalanced characters. You know, to me, Smite, I thought, did have unbalanced characters. But when I go play Overwatch, I feel like, you know what, Smite actually did a pretty good job at balancing out these roles. Overwatch has a balancing issue. Overwatch has an issue where I cannot take it serious. And I put this on Twitter a long time ago that there's certain characteristics and you know, things about video games that I have to see me take it serious. One of those is time to kill. If your time to kill is super long, I can't take your game serious. If it takes me like literally too long to finish you off, I can't take your game serious. I play games like Halo, Siege, Gears of War, the older Battlefield games, you know, even Counter-Strike, and I play a lot of tactical shooters. And a lot of shooters that I do play, gunfights are dictated by 1 to 4 bullets. Even Halo might not seem like it, but if you're using a DMR or battle rifle in Halo, it usually will take you 3 to 4 bullets for getting headshots to kill somebody. That's a good time to kill. Even some Call of Duty games, the ones from Infinity Ward, some of the older ones like Ghost had a very, very short time to kill. I like short time to kills because it makes it more, you know, I would say strategic and skillful. Because there's more skill in the gunfights. There's nothing random. The most games that have a high time to kill, the gunfights are random. You can literally turn in from you know, getting a drop on someone and filling up with bullets to them turning around and spraying you and then getting a kill. Because not only do you have lag compensation, but having a high time to kill allows for an opportunity for someone to turn on you when they shoot you to get a kill on you and finish you off. So if you have those things, that turns me off. The other thing is unbalanced in your characters, and when it comes to Overwatch, the game has just that, unbalanced characters. So we're going to talk about a couple of those characters. Starting off with Bastion. Bastion himself, by himself, is why I cannot take this game serious. Because the way he works, the way he functions, and how strong he is, to me, it's kind of broken. It's broken in a way where if you're an Overwatch player, if you're someone who, you know, you love this game, you play this game nonstop, all you care about is Overwatch, you probably won't see Bastion as that big of a deal. But someone from the outside looking in, who plays other shooters, plays other games, and you see how Bastion is played, see how Bastion works, you look at that character like, how is this balanced? In what world is this balanced? Like, it's basically a meme in the Overwatch community where you say Bastion got play because Bastion always gets plays. And it's a joke because all Bastion does is sit in a corner, hold down right trigger, and just shoot people. That's all he does. There's no skill involved in playing him whatsoever, and he does so much damage to all characters, not just DPS, not just support, but even the tanks. He does a lot of damage to tanks. Bastion is a strong character, and by himself breaks the game. And then there's Moira. Moira is the current hot topic in Overwatch when it comes to debates about who's too strong, who needs to get nerfed, and things like that. Moira's the hot topic because Moira is too strong. She's an overpowered character that turns the game from being anything skillful into being something that's completely easy. Characters like Moira and Bastion, to me, take skill out of the video game. And that's the issue Overwatch has. There's a number of characters, other than those two, who take skill out of the game. And because of that, I don't feel the game takes skill itself. There's people who are great at this game. That's good for them. But overall, when it comes to talk about skill in video games, your game doesn't take skill to play if a casual player can take someone and run roughshod. Moira is a casual player's wet dream. She requires zero skill and zero of anything. You don't have to have a brain to play Moira. All it takes to play Moira is just hit a couple buttons. And the reason why she's so strong is because she has too much utility. Now in Overwatch, try not even use that word. In Siege, utility is basically a talk about when it comes to your gadget, your weapons, and things like that. So for Moira, her utility will be her death orb, her healing orb, her ult, her evasion, and things like that. Moira is a support. She's a healer. She has literally 3 ways of dealing damage. Why does the healer have 3 ways of dealing damage? She has her ult, she has her damage orb, and she has her left trigger. Which, by the way, you can just hold down. You don't have to tap it, you don't have to aim it. Just hold down left trigger, you're going to do damage. Again, no skill. This damage orb, you just throw it, and it's going to hit things. You don't have to see what you're hitting. You just throw into it in the area, and it's going to hit stuff. Again, no skill. Her ult. You don't have to aim. You technically aim it, but at the same time, you don't have to see what you're hitting. You just use it and just hope that things are where your point your character at. Let's compare her to other supports, other healers. Mercy. Mercy has 1 way of dealing damage. 1. Moira has 3. Her left trigger, her ult, her damage orb. Mercy has a pistol. That's it. That's her defense. A pistol. The other abilities she have, a damage buff and healing, are 2 things that are just support items. She's a full support basically with 1 way of attack. Moira has 3. Let's take, and here's the thing, you don't hold down Mercy's gun and just do damage. You have to actually aim. Let's compare Moira to someone else. Zenyatta. Zenyatta has 1 damage and 1 heal. What was it? Zenyatta has 1 damage ability. Just like Mercy, he has a healing ability and a buff ability. It's a debuff for the defense. But he has 1 damage. And that damage also requires him to aim. See what I'm getting here? The other support healers in the game all have the ability to either buff or debuff attacks, and also have the ability to heal, but they have 1 way of attacking. Moira has 3. And even with that, she still has her healing orb. She still has her right trigger, which is also healing. So her ult also heals. Her ult heals and does damage. She has her healing orb, and she has her right trigger that also heals. So Moira has 3 healing abilities and 3 damage abilities. That's too strong. My most used character in Overwatch is Moira, because she's brainless. I don't have to do anything to play Moira. I just have to, if I pick her, my team's in a good standing. My best statistical matches that I have in Overwatch are all with Moira. Now I've started to play Mercy a bit more, and she's fun as hell to me to play, because I feel like she actually takes a little bit of skill. People hate Mercy, but I feel like when you start playing her, you start to learn she takes a bit more skill than you would think she would originally take. But when I play Moira, I feel like I'm just being brainless and just getting easy kills and doing easy heals. It's kind of laughable. I don't even have fun playing her. That's why I stopped playing her, because I don't have fun. I don't have fun playing a character who's too strong. But it doesn't just stop there. These are just the 2 people who I feel like are the most overpowered characters in the game who need to be changed up. Overwatch in itself is a mess. As someone who plays a game like Siege, and I go from that to Overwatch, Overwatch is a fucking mess. And excuse my language, I know that's gonna ruffle some feathers, but the game itself is a mess. And there's gonna be people who say, when I get into what I'm gonna talk about next, which is a community and how the game's played, there's gonna be people in the comments who are gonna talk about, well, if you're playing in like plat and higher, things are different with the community. People are more strategic. People are more team focused. Here's the thing about that kind of comment. You can use that comment in any game that has a rank play. You can use it in Halo. You can use it in Gears of War. You can use it in Call of Duty. You can use it in Siege. You can use it in Battlefield when it comes to game battles. You can use it in Smite. You can use it in any multiplayer game that has any form of competitive play. Of course, the higher ranks are going to be more strategic and more team based and have more cohesion. They're the high level players. That's just common sense. That's literally just common sense. That's also the lowest base of players. In Siege, using that example, the lowest percentage of players for ranked are in that top tier players. You know, that champion, that diamond, that plat 1. Those are the lowest percentage of Siege players. The highest percentage of Siege players are all silvers. And I would wager, I haven't seen the statistics for Overwatch. I have seen the stats of Siege. I haven't seen the stats for Overwatch. But I would wager the highest percentage of Overwatch players are in that gold and silver area. So if your highest player percentage is in gold or silver, let's just say gold. And yet they're still a mess. Overwatch players are a mess. There's no cohesion. There's no one trying to be a team. Yes, you have find a group, which is cool. But if you don't find a group and you just go lobby up, you get into a lobby that is a complete mess. A complete mess. There's no cohesion. There's no team. Like, it's just everyone, for the most part, when it comes to silver and golds, they just run around like headless chickens and just hope things happen in the way that they want it to happen. It's a mess. And when things don't go right, it becomes a bout of toxicity. Everyone's spamming healing because they feel like the healers aren't doing enough job. Everyone, complaining about the tanks not doing enough job. It's always someone's fault and never their own. You get a Reinhardt who just non-stops just runs in and tries to smack things and then he dies. And he's like, oh, I need healing. It's like, you just literally just use your charge. You get into it and go right into the enemy team. You're getting ganked. No one can help you in the situation. Or you get a Winston who does this little jump into the enemy team. So you just jumped into the entire team by yourself and now you're dead. Or you get a Genji who jumps in and does, like, you can't expect your healers to be able to just constantly protect you if you go do a suicide push. You have to have cohesion. You have to have some kind of strategy, some kind of team-centered focus. But the majority of the players who play the game don't have that. They're all selfish. They're all toxic. And I know, for the most part, it seems like I'm just ragging Overwatch, but I do think it's a decent game. I do think it's a game where if you do have a good team, if you do have, not even a good team, if you just have a cohesive group of people to play with, you will have a good time playing the game. And yes, there are counters to every hero in the game. But even still, Moira, Bastion, Hanzo, Widow, these are characters that don't take skill to play. I literally played Hanzo for the first time and just brainlessly got 3 kills with headshots because I just sprayed arrows down a freaking corridor. Not even a corridor, it was an area, and I couldn't even see. I was being body blocked by a freaking Roadhog. Not intentionally, I just couldn't see. They're just walking past, and I just started shooting through Roadhog and got 3 kills. Not to mention his ult is just press Y. There's no skill in his ult, just press Y. Same thing when it comes to McCree, just press Y. Same thing when it comes to freaking Soldier, just press Y. There's nothing skillful being used in these characters when it comes to their ults. Now, for other characters when it comes to their ults, there's strategy based in it. Orisa, you don't just use her ult, just use her ult. Use it when it comes to like a perfect time. Use it when there's a perfect strategy that involves you having to use it. Same thing when it comes to like Mei's ult. You're not just gonna throw Mei's ult out there. You're gonna wait until there's a optimum time to use that ult. Same thing with Mercy. You're not gonna just use her Valkyrie at random. You're gonna wait until it's a good time for you to use that Valkyrie. You're gonna wait until your team's in a situation to where they need to have Valkyrie being used on them. So there's characters in the game who there's a strategy that should be used when it comes to their ults, and it takes some skill in using their ults. But there's still those characters who don't take any skill to use in general, or when it comes to their ult, it's just a press Y ult. And that's not fun. That's not good to look at, especially from an outside looking at. Because again, I'm not an Overwatch player. I'm someone who plays other shooters, who's looking from the outside, who looks in, who has tried Overwatch out, who plays it every now and then just to play it, with my girlfriend. And when I see how the game's played, when I see the characters, I'm just thinking to myself, this game could be so much better. But it's just not there yet. With all that said, guys, this video, thank you for watching. Hope you all have a good day. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a good week. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave likes, subscribe. Follow me below my description. You can go to my Twitch. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.